What are these silky tags that are frayed on the top and bottom, found in Ontario, Canada? My mom passed away, and we're slowly going through her things, and these were tucked into her childhood tea set. I think it must have been from my great-grandparents, and probably from the 50s or 60s, as the Canadian flag, not seen in the photos, still has the red ensign. I'm thinking maybe from the packages of tea or food. Can anyone help me with identifying this, please? These are textile tobacco inserts, often called tobacco silks, cigarette silks, or tobacco premiums, and appeared mainly from the late 1800s to early 1900s. These were small woven or printed pieces of silk, satin, or cotton that tobacco companies placed inside cigarette or tobacco packets as collectible premiums, similar to how later companies used baseball cards. They often featured flags, flowers, animals, actresses, Native American imagery, military insignia, or advertising designs. These were used as marketing incentives to encourage brand loyalty, and collectors in the period often stitched these silks into quilts, pillow covers, handbags, table runners, and decorative banners. What is this item that my parents got at a thrift store last year? I think it's made out of bamboo, and the bottom part moves around and makes wind-chimey sounds when you shake it. Any help would be greatly appreciated. That is an angklung, a musical instrument from the Sundanese in Indonesia that is made of a varying number of bamboo tubes attached to a bamboo frame. The angklung originated in what is now West Java and Banten provinces in Indonesia and has been played by the Sundanese for many centuries. They were reintroduced as a popular instrument in the 1930s, having been a children's toy during the colonial period. The frame is held in one hand, while the other hand shakes the instrument, causing a repeating note to sound. The concussion of the moving tube with the bass creates the sound. My grandfather asked me to find out what this gauge is. When the top button is pushed, it starts a timer on the left gauge, but the right gauge doesn't seem to do anything. Please help me solve this. It will hopefully put him out of his misery of not knowing. It's an antique handheld tachoscope from the turn of the last century. It's a type of mechanical tachometer that combines a revolution counter with a timer in a single integrated instrument. Its primary function is to measure the average rotational speed, in revolutions per minute, or RPM, of a rotating shaft or disc by simultaneously tracking the number of revolutions and the time elapsed. The contact point of the instrument is pressed against the rotating shaft. This action engages both the revolution counter and the stopwatch. The user maintains contact for a short, measured interval, and the rotational speed is then computed from the readings of the counter and the timer. What is this contraption found in a box of miscellaneous craft supplies from a friend's attic? It's mostly wood, and the little boxes on either side have hinges that open. I think the parts on the top are clamps that you can screw wider or narrower, and then there's something like a spool attached to the bottom of one of the posts. I'm pretty sure it's for something related to sewing or beads, but I can't figure out for the life of me what it actually does. Any hints as to what purpose this contraption might have served are very much appreciated. It's an embroidery hoop holder from a 1980s American Girl doll set. The hoop is removable and has holes that go on those little pegs, and the screws can be adjusted to increase or decrease tension on the hoop. The two hinged drawers on either side of the frame are to store a girl-sized and doll-sized thimble and embroidery thread and needle. What is this rusted metal with two wheels and bent spikes? Possibly farming equipment. It is attached to a bracket as if it would be pulled by a tractor. It was found in Dade City, Florida, near a cattle pasture and some crops. However, it looks like it may have been there longer than any of those things. The wheels kind of look like bike wheels if the spokes were to go through to the other side and make hooks. The hooks are round and don't appear to have ever been sharp. Thank you everyone for any help trying to figure this one out. It's a tractor fingerwheel rake, possibly from the 1950s to the 60s. It's a farm implement pulled by a tractor to gather cut hay or straw into windrows for drying and later baling. They rake wide swaths of hay towards the center of the machine to pile it up in long, narrow rows that make it easier to pick up for baling. What is this weird thing I found in my basement? I bought this house 3 years ago. I just had to replace my water heater and found this stuck behind our furnace. I have no idea what it could be. Around 4 feet long, with gears and some sort of lens. It was an old man who owned the house before me. His interests were apparently botany, if that helps. The lens says, "Enlarging Raptor." What is this thing, and when do you think it was made? This is a photographic enlarger from a darkroom setup. It lacks the base that it would be bolted onto. It was patented on September 9th, 1941 by Milton B. Cantor of Chicago, Illinois. You would put your negative in the top, which also housed a light source, and the lens would project an image from the negative on the surface below which you would put photosensitive paper on. It has gears to raise the head up and down because that's how you would make the image smaller or larger. What is this golden-colored object that seems to be about the size of a candle and weighs about 1 to 2 pounds? I'd like to make use out of it because it seems unique to me. The cylindrical shaft twists, and so does the ornate piece up top. I just don't know how to take it apart, and I would love to know what it is so I can research how to use it. I tried to search it online, and I couldn't seem to find anything similar in the slightest. Thanks so much if you have any info. It holds rotating picture frames. The holders at the top are missing. It was made by Godinger Silver in the 1970s to the 80s. The frame features multiple glass panes designed to hold photos back to back. What is this cup with an articulated hook, found in the south of France? It's maybe brass and kinda heavyweight. I first thought it was however used for candles, but I can't see any trace of wax. I can't find any other keywords to Google it, so I have no other information to give. Thanks for any assistance. This is an old tallow miner's lamp, European in origin. Here's one of mine as an example. If it is real, it's from around the 1700s to the 1800s, but they are also kinda often faked. The separate piece in the bowl is to hold the wick in place, and the hook is to hang it or to drive it into a beam. The basic design has been around a while. These brass or iron lamps are also actually an evolution of the earlier medieval clay lamps. What are these black items on the wall in the Monuments Men interrogation scene? I am curious what the black items on the wall in this snippet of an American movie released in 2014, starring George Clooney, as he is interrogating a Nazi officer. I do not know how much information I need to give, as I know nothing aside from this is a movie scene, and the chatbot is asking a lot. Can anyone shed some light? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.